Hello everybody and welcome back to X4 the Beginner's Guide. In this episode I want to go through some more bits on the mission. Hopefully we'll get a conclusion fairly soon on this and we can continue with what it's got in store for us, because there are a few things, as I've mentioned, that's going to be useful for us. Also, I want to give a little bit of update on the guide as a whole. Now I know a lot of people have given me some good feedback. I enjoy getting the feedback, so please make sure you do let me know how you're thinking about it. You know, what am I not covering that you might want to see. You know, some people have also, challenged me on some of the things I've done, and I've explained the reason why, which I love. There is no right or wrong way about playing this game when it comes to how you go about things. The only thing that is obviously right or wrong is whether or not you charge into an enemy with, extremely outnumbered forces. Then that's definitely going to be the wrong thing to do. But most times there really is no right or wrong way. There are multiple ways you can go about doing things, and that's what I love about this guide. Now, up until recently I have kept it singular, so everything I've done has been leading to this path, and I've not really phased off the path. And it's now come to the point where I'm going to start considering splitting off into multiple paths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the main save, I'm going to back the main save up, we're going to then take one approach, then another approach, and then possibly a third approach as well. The first approach I'm going to do is going to be a more laid back, economically driven, gathering all of the faction designs and stuff like that. The second approach I'm going to do is going to be more of a militaristic kind of approach to it. So we're going to be looking at building fleet support for our fleets rather than for the AI fleets. I'm going to start taking over sectors in the long run. Now, obviously, we left off previously with finding our unknown station. This station now belongs to us, but obviously there's nothing we can do with it because it's blocked off. There's no access to it. So the mission we have at the moment is to basically build a dock area. So now this part of the story does take a little bit, because obviously you got to wait for the dock to be built. But what it is effectively doing is it's giving you the way how stations are built. Now obviously we've covered that in the guide, so I'm not going to cover too much about that, but we will just recap a little bit as we go. But as always, if we right click and plan build, we can then go into our station. Now, as you can see, the area we have is obviously taken up by the size of the structure we've already got here. We've got a plot. Now, if I remember rightly, the plot itself, so if we go to manage plots, I believe the unknown station is at its max. It is, yeah. So it's 20 by 20 by 20. So it's its max, so we're not going to get much more than this. But we can go ahead. I'll just back off that. We can go ahead to our plan builds. But if we go to build, now obviously we've unlocked some stuff already because of what we've been doing. That doesn't have too much of an effect where we're at the moment. It just means it's going to be a little bit easier for you to decide what you do with this station. Now this station is yours to use as you see fit. I do like the style of the station, but obviously it's in an enemy territory, so there's a few things we've got to be careful of. But let's go ahead and get our dock module, and we'll just get a basic dock. Now there's two sections where we can connect to. Either side doesn't really matter. We'll go ahead and I'll place it on this here. Now again, as always, we've just got to do the same things. I'm just going to confirm that so we don't lose it, just in case I click off it. We go back to our plan build, just like we normally do. We obviously need to set ourselves a builder. Zoom out until we spot a builder. Good to me, so we'll select that builder there. That builder is now assigned to us. We then need to have a look at resources available in builders, non-resources required, and obviously managed by order. We can accept the estimate, which is 172,000 credits. What I'm going to do is, building the HU dock will take some time, we're aware of that. I'm going to increase it just in case, so if anything fluctuates. Use this time to find other missions. Now obviously if you wanted to go to a more mission route side of gameplay, then obviously you can go ahead and do that, as it's saying here, and it's just giving you ideas of what you can do whilst we've been doing it. Obviously this is the reason why I tend to leave this section of the gameplay until when I'm doing it now, because I've got plenty of things I can be doing now. I don't follow their invitation mission for your promotion ceremony. Yeah, we've been doing all this with the Argon. We'll just give you little indications as to what you can and can't do. Sorry, what you can do. Join the war effort. We'll obviously be joining the war effort when it comes to the militaristic side of things that we're doing. That may be a third path where we go to war completely with a faction. But we'll choose the faction side. If you'd like to see certain factions being chosen, then please let me know. Even if I have to break off and create new, almost not guides, but sub-series, then I'm more than happy to do that. And we can choose like battling with the Taladi or whatever you want to do it. That station's now just going to build it. Now, as you saw, it said about 11 minutes to build. So we're going to wait for the builders to get in there, all the components to get in. So there's nothing really much more we can do with our station to progress. So what we can go ahead and do now is we can then start doing the stuff. And this is why I was saying to you, this is why I leave it till now, because then I can choose to basically continue with my empire. I can expand on what I've already done. We've got obviously the new station that we've been working on in the Reach ore refinery. We can go ahead and check that out. How are we looking? So our expected operating budget is lower, so we get a little bit of money back from that. It's probably earning some money now. Funds for station construction, we don't need any station construction, but we can go ahead and if we let's right click it and go to logical overview. So we can see now it's getting energy cells, which we're obviously getting from our other station. It's got a maximum amount of ore and it's now getting refined metals here. So hopefully we're going to start seeing some profit coming from this. It's starting to build drones as well, which is quite nice because obviously we need these drones to help with the operation. We don't have a workforce because we don't have a habitat. That's something I've mentioned in the past. Select trade ways. See what that's for. We'll have a look at that later. I think that's been a new addition. But we can have a look now so we can see refined metals, the buy and sell offer. So we're actually, looks like we've actually sold some refined metals, which is nice. Energy credits and the ore is about average. We can then, so now that we've got ore that we're now getting from our ships, obviously we were backlogged with our ships. And the annoying thing is, it always puts me back at that station. It's a little annoying, but now that we have obviously our miners that are now full with resources, as you can see, this one's completely full, but it's going back out because there's no room. What we can do is we can either expand on our storage that we've got, or we can then go back to restricting our trade with other factions. So we go ahead and do that. So station settings, yeah, that's absolutely fine. We've got our Magnetar coming in. How we're looking. Only my property may trade. Oh, okay. They've just changed. There's a couple of little bits and bobs they changed around, which is quite nice. So they've expanded it where you can actually set things up. It's a little better. Only my property may trade. So we've restricted it to just our faction. That'll do me nicely. So again, we're going to take this time to start looking at a few things. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I like the Taladi ships a little bit better. So if we go to the Taladi Wharf, we go to buy ships. I find those ships a little bit better. I just like the style of them. Certainly like the transporter ships and stuff. They just look cooler, to my opinion. That's obviously my opinion. So you can take that as much as you want to when you're playing your own. But as you can see, we can't do anything because we haven't got the Ministry of Military Ship License. We can have a look at them and see what they look like. That's kind of cool. I think that's one of the newer ones. Osprey Sentinel. I like the frigate. Obviously, we can have a look at some other stuff as well. They look, personally, I feel like they look better. And you can see the colour as well that we chose earlier. You can start seeing how that affects the other ships as well. And, these little sections on here that look nice. So, as mentioned, that's one of the things I wanted to do in the past is start doing this. So, I'm going to go ahead now and I'm actually going to set up. Now, what you can do in this stage is you can decide to move what you've got already. Or you can go ahead and buy new ships. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to buy new ships. But I'm going to go for medium ships. And the reason why that is because you're going to get more in and outs with the medium ships, which means you're going to slowly start increasing your faction a little bit more. And personally, I feel like that's what it does. I could be wrong with that, and it could be based off what you actually trade, but the smaller ships are a little bit easier to handle with. And that's why I tend to avoid building the large ones. But I do still use them, obviously. I've done. Let's go ahead and head to the wharf. And let's buy some ships. Now, as a matter of fact, that's the Argon. Let's not build. Let's actually buy from the Taladi, so it's in the area already. Now we've got to be careful because they are having enemy ships popping around and stuff like that. So we just got to be careful with that. So let's buy some ships from our new faction that we're going to be trying to get our reputation up with. We want the medium ships, and we're going to have a. Let's have a look. So what should we have? We will get the Vulture. How much does that give us? 12 to 14 space, and that's 11. Get 2 Vulture Sentinels, and we'll get. It's a little bit more expensive, but I'm actually starting to think like we should start getting. Just get a basic scanner. Got maximum crew now. I'm going to drop the Marines down a bit and increase our service crew. Hopefully, we'll get better crew out of that. Consumables. We got flares in there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So we're going to head and we're going to. Got turrets on there. We got, yes, excellent. So we'll put 2 of them on. Like so. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get 2 minerals. Again, a high preset. 8 crewmen. And 1.1 million. You just see here what we've got. Mining drill Mark II. Now the good thing about these medium ones as well is they don't use drones, so you're not relying on the drones to pick up all the materials for you. So just these ships will do it themselves rather than requiring drones to do it. You can, I think you can put drones in them. No, even the medium ones you still can't put drones in. So we'll grab 2 of these as well. Shopping cart. 2 of them. Then I'm going to grab myself 1 gas center. Again, I'm going to set a high preset there. 6 crewmen. I think that's them. Oh, you can get a few more. I didn't drop the Marines down for the last one, but that's absolutely fine. 2 docking computer. Everything's set and good to go. Add to shopping list. So we'll have about 3 million left after that, so that's absolutely fine for us to continue as we were doing. So I'm going to let that plod along now. What that's going to do is also help us increase our faction because we're purchasing from a prospecting, faction that we're going to be working with. We need to start thinking about whether we want to start looking at the Paranid. Obviously, they've got their training station down here. We've also got the hop section of Paranid Wharf there. You've got the hops and you've got the Pars. They're 2 separate factions. Now, there are other factions in here, obviously, that we can deal with, but right now I'm not going to deal with. We've got another Taladi Wharf there. Taladi. We got... Oh, this is the Ministry of... What do they call them? Oh, my name's gonna right out of my head. Ministry of Finance. This is the Ministry of Finance, Taladi. If I remember rightly... Still the same reputation for own a Taladi company. Buy ships from them. They're the exact same ship. Yeah. I had a moment there where I had to think. Well, hopefully we can get the same reputation or enough reputation so we can get ourselves some decent looking ships. As I say, they're my preference. That's what I'm going to go for. Right, our unknown station's flashing. Let's see how we're doing. On the ready, let's have a look at plan build. Okay, so we've got our resources coming in. It looks like we've got everything we need. Yes, we do. So everything's coming in. So once we've got all them, it'll start building, and we'll complete our basic dock area, which should advance our mission. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is I'm going to let the game play through. And hopefully we will get to a stage where this is built and we can continue on with the next part of the mission. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is absolutely nothing. I'm going to wait for these ships to produce. And then when we come back, I'll do both at the same time. So these will just sit in the dock. As I say, I've got money. I'm absolutely fine with that, but I'll do both at the same time so we can see what we're doing with it. But I shall be right back shortly.
Well done. I have been watching your progress with much interest. When you dock, see if you can access any of the internal structures from an elevator.
So there we have it. We have our docking platform built. So we're going to get our ship that we've got here now to dock at the station. Why it's having to go. That's else. No, it's just far out to dock with the station. Why it's doing that, but there you go. But we'll wait for it to just dock with. Now, it's a couple of things to point out that this station at the moment isn't really the best thing to do anything, because all it's got is a little basic dock area, so it can only take small and medium ships. It's not going to do anything like, you know, your big cargo ships or anything like that. To do something like that, you're going to need a 3-tier dock. And these things, as you can see, they're huge. They're a pain to try and fit on because they take up so much room. If you end up plonking it there like so, it ain't going to take it because it's technically out of bounds. See there. It's just not letting you connect. The reason for that being is because of the little back path here, because of the circular section here. What I'd advise you doing for something like this is to try to bring it out. Probably something like this. Via connections. You know, you can put some storage in there if you want. What I tend to do is I'll tend to do things like I'll place that and I'll just go along. So, because what these little side connectors do, they allow you to build off them, and that's realistically about all you're going to get from that. So then I'll then connect that, and then we've got, you know, some room here to do some stuff. You're not going to have much room, but it means you've got some room. What you can also do as well is you can actually build out here and then around to here. You've also got these little connection points here. Now these, I think, are available for connection. Let's just see if we can get one connected. There we go. Yes, so there you go. So yeah, they'll collect sideways on. Now you can place one of them on there, but again, you're just going to create this little angular section here, and it might be a little bit of a pain to get it to work with these little 3 points here. But that's an idea of something you can do there. I'm just going to confirm their module changes because my build. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the money flow from it. So if I go to my managed funds, or do it from here, I'm actually going to take the funds away from the station build. Then they can't do anything, but I've got something planned. I'm going to wait for the ship to decide to turn itself around. Please dock with this. Is that an old order? Get rid of that order. I don't know why that's still even there. I didn't realise that was a second order, or one that I missed, or one that it decided to add itself. Let's go ahead and dock with the station. It's then going to give us a couple of little simple things to do. Again, it's all about orientating yourself around a station. Obviously this station is technically yours now, just the same as what the other ones are, but this one's just got a bloody big thing that you've got to try and work around. Can be a little bit of a pain, but it does look kind of cool, and it's got its uses. It was free, you know, at the end of the day, apart from the modules you place on it.
Elite Vanguard.
It was free. There you go. We're going to dock. We are docking. Access the elevator. Head on out. Use these little markers on the road now. Access elevator. Use transporter route.
No, it appears we're still locked out from direct access. It seems I have no choice. I must leave my current location and join you on that station.
Okay.
Your help would be greatly appreciated. I will send instructions. I didn't expect I would need to enact this escape plan so abruptly. A fast combat ship is preferable.
Okay, so...
Hello there.
Okay.
Can I help?
Retake control. We'll let him leave the control. So what it's going to ask you to do is go and head over to Black Hole Sun. Now I don't know why it directs you to here and then goes all the way around to go to the Black Hole Sun. I'm not really sure why it does that. When in my eyes this is a much the route, but yeah. So all we need to do to resolve that is we can go ahead and select our Elite Vanguard, fly to here.
The ship will be undocking soon.
To here. No one go in. Oh, it just deselected my ship. Okay. Leave your current orders. Go. Right. Fly to there. Fly to. You're annoying now. Stop deselecting my ship. Should do is place a second one. Like so. So you right click, control key, right click, and it'll give you like a second waypoint that you can do. And obviously our third waypoint, and we'll just plonk it there. And it's telling us to go to this area here. Put a marker there. We'll let the ship take us over there. Whilst that's doing that, we'll go back to what we were discussing earlier on, and that's getting these ships here working for us. So we had them built, so we've got ourselves a new vulture, we've got a couple of mining drills, so 2 minerals, a gas, and a trader. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the information going. So I'm going to set this up to have the behavior as usual. It's only a 1 star, so we can do sector auto mine for you. Now we've got a bit of the area scouted, so we can see what we've got. We've got graphene, solar panel, graphene, chip factories. So if you're struggling to figure out what they are, you've always got your legend here. We can see by the legend we've got the mineral gas region, so hopefully we can go ahead and going to tell me what medical plasma conductor facility. That one there, high-tech facility. Let's see if this one's going to give me a logical one. So what we'll do is we'll set our gas first. Default behavior. Plan default behavior. So we'll have it sector auto mine, and we'll try and set it to do hydrogen. I think just see if it'll do hydrogen. We'll have one of our minerals to sector auto mine to try and get some Nevidium, and then the second one we'll set to sector auto mine, and we'll get it set in. We'll try ore, see if it'll do ore. Then what I'm going to do is I think I can set this to trading. Let's see if we can get it to. We can't get it to distribute wires because it's still low level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this to only trade with. So to get this leveled up, we'll get it set on our other station here. Where is it? It's got a bit of a flight to go, but it's fine. So assign role for trader, and we'll put it in the beta team. I've got 2 traders for you. I think that was set. I don't clicked off the screen then. Yes, excellent. So you're set and good to go. Okay, so we got 2 mineral ships and a gas ship working in this sector, so hopefully we'll see this get some reputation. Discover a Vanguard. Let's just get rid of this here. Order. And we'll just get these last little edges here because they're not quite clear. Now, just my Vanguard, do you have... Oh, be high up. Waiting. Got anything? We've got no deployables, so we'll just fly to get these last little bits done. Fly to. Get these last bits as mentioned.
We found something out here.
Then I'm going to get you to dock. Upgrade repair out. Get some consumables. I'm going to drop you with as many satellites as I can. Shopping list. Order. What I may actually do is I may actually get him to remove all these orders. Let's get him to upgrade. Well, I say upgrade, but let's get some satellites put in you. So he's going to now dock, get some satellites, and then we'll get him to deploy the satellites around these factories and stuff like that, so we can get a bit more eyes on in that area, because we've not got anything around this area yet, but obviously we want to start looking about doing that for that reputation that I want to do. We're not far off, I don't think, from getting to our location. Here, I think. Where are we? I have lost sight of them. How are we stuck in an ice field? Oh, there we are. Oh, we have not gone very far at all. Okay, let's just.
Hello.
So what we're gonna head. Oh, he's just making a mess of this. So we're gonna go and get to the point, and then we'll be right back, and we shall continue this last little section. Hopefully, it'll be done and dusted, and then we can move on to something a bit better. Okay, so he talks about a plan, but what that plan might be, we are not really certain. Have a look and see if he's put anything in our mission manager. Escape plan. Fly to the Black Hole Sun. Open briefing. A fast combat ship is preferred. That's to follow. Okay, excellent. So nothing. Now, the one thing I completely forgot about is that this ship actually is completely unarmed. So let's hope there's not much combat. If I remember rightly, you just got to escape anyway. So we'll hope speed is on our side, and we'll see how we go from there. Let's go ahead and get our little friend off that ship. And that's going to unlock something really useful for us. Well, actually, there's a couple of things we'll unlock for it. So, yeah, it's worthwhile doing. Not far off now.
Empty space.
Empty space.
I have further refined the plan. Please take a look.
Okay, start the capturing tutorial to learn about taking over a ship. So, head on over to our mission manager. Escape plan.
As you can see, I wish to escape the station via a chartered freighter.
Okay.
There are actually multiple ships involved, as to confound anyone wishing to track me. I would like you to protect any ship which should get into trouble.
Okay, that's fine. Fly to Argon Mercury Vanguard. So hopefully we don't actually get too much action, but let's get to our property owned. Let's get our fleet 2. Let's get our fleet 2 to follow. Hopefully we won't have too much problems, but let's go and have a look. Flying away at first speed. Okay, let's catch up with our little friend here.
Mercury, Vanguard.
Traveling at some speed. That's actually slowing down now. Overshoot.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted.
Getting a little closer. Hopefully we'll get there quick enough. A little quick boost. Speed ahead. Coming in nicely. pretty much on top of it. Okay, right. Let's see what it says about what we need to do. I think it's just going to sit here. There's a escort. Let's just see what our mission manager says. Escape plan. Open brief. To enact my plan, I've chartered a number of ships to act as decoy transports while I make my escape plan by other means. I would like you to escort one of the ships and make sure they do not come to any harm. I'd rather my reputation not take a sizable hit during my freedom. Okay, so it says escort ship to station. Wait for ship to launch. Up ship out of sector. Okay. Nothing much else we can do here. Now, as I say, because the ship's got no armaments, I'm not really too worried. I don't think, if I remember rightly,
We've found something out here.
found an abandoned ship. All that. Well, I've got to take my. Go. So our fleet should join us momentarily. Doesn't take them too long to get here, I'd imagine. You fleet 2 was sent out, and you are already in the sector. Oh, and that ship's decided to set off something. It's our little ship. Well, I say little, it's bigger than us. Now we've got some weaponry around us. Hopefully we can keep our ship safe. So we'll just escort it. There we go. Dock at. Dock. Just go ahead and dock it.
Docking granted.
Go ahead and dock at. Oh, wait for ship to launch.
Please wait for the ship to conclude its business. It will launch shortly.
Okay. So I guess we'll just hover around for a minute. We've got some protection in the area now. When we set off, we'll get them to follow the decoy ship in the area, and hopefully it'll defend it. Hopefully. I'd imagine so. Taking its while, so we'll just fast forward to when it's launching.
Please protect this ship from any harm. While it is a decoy, I would rather no harm comes to the crew.
Okay, so our next decoy ship. So let's get our fleet to follow. We'll obviously follow it as well. I think he's a little faster than me. Keep with it.
Mercury, Vanguard.
Oh no, we're just slightly quicker, so.
Requesting permission to dock. Docking permission granted. Please halt. We will be scanning your cargo hold. A scan? Oh, okay.
Docking aborted.
All clear. You can be on your way.
I am successfully aboard my transport and en route to the installation.
Where is the boron?
I will check security logs.
Oh, that didn't take long at all. It seems my disappearance has been noticed. I expect my ship is at a safe distance. I can't say the same for the others. Please be alert.
I will order our ships to intercept targets.
You will join them while I investigate further.
Yes, brother.
Okay, so it looks like we could have some incoming targets, but nothing's on the radar at the moment, so we're looking good so far. Let's keep with our little transport here. Anything on the radar?
I've successfully docked. I will begin my work. My, this structure is far more impressive in person than I expected.
No, that's not going to happen.
Then prepare to die.
Please halt. I will
Here we
let you
go.
know your cargo
Got targets.
Go ahead with your scan. All clear.
So since we have no armaments, I'm going to set my fleet to obviously attack the target, attack multiple objects.
That shot really didn't do much. Not enough for you?
That ship's actually got some decent weaponry on it.
You don't stand a chance.
Brother, the moron is not on board that ship. Return to base.
Acknowledged.
Ship's getting a pound in.
You will regret crossing us.
Why is my ship attacking? Come on,
Split not die so easily.
kill that target, please.
Split make you pay for that. You don't match for Split.
Okay,
Should I be frightened?
Looks like they're disengaged from that target now.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, we've took out the first target, so let's try and take out that second target. I don't think they'll get to it. We'll attempt to take it out. And we'll double check on our... No, that ship did take an absolute pound in there, but we managed to pull them off before it lost anything more than it needed to.
Go away.
It looks like they've actually engaged the transport drive. Sorry, the travel drives. They're traveling at a fair pace now. And I'm presuming as soon as it hits that little sector thing there, we should complete this part of the mission, and then we can move on to meeting the Boran on our system. I say our system, our station, should I say? Oh, we shot him. That's fine. Yeah, almost on his way there. Make sure we've got our fleet. Got our fleet to head over here. Hi, ship. They're dealing with that, so we can take that order off now. Remove the order. We'll collect its fighters and then head over to this area here. Hopefully, it'll make it before our ship does. But as I say, I think that's it for the attacks now. I don't think they send any more. And we managed to keep the ship safe.
Requesting immediate backup.
However, I could be wrong. Oh, no, we're good. Oh, it's just that area there. Like our ship's still engaging. Oh no, it's loading its ships now. Oh no, it is still engaging. Fine, that ship's going to die in a minute now. And we managed to keep our transport safe. A win on both sides. I completely forgot that this ship doesn't have any sort of weaponry on it. This is just like my kind of transport ship. Normally I try to leave them with some sort of weaponry, but in this instance I didn't really need it for this one, so I did forget about the combat phase. Now out of the
Thanks for
sector.
your help.
Fantastic. Dock at unknown stations. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump off this area here. There we go. Get up.
Elite
Allow my
Vanguard.
guy to take control again, and we can head on back to the station. Now hopefully he'll fly to a little bit better to the station and out of the station. So dock at, and I'm going to get my second fleet here to head on over and fly to, just so it's in the area as well. So I'm going to now jump ahead to when we're at the station to finish off this little section here. It's a bit of a longer episode, but I really want to get these bits done because, as I say, we were about to split off into several sections, and I really want the main story, at least for the first part, done up until it releases a couple of items that we're going to need. And there you have it. We are docked at our new station once again. Let's go and see what we have this time. Transport. And it doesn't tell us where we're supposed to go. It just says dock at unknown station. So you want to be going to the science lab.
Aha! At last, we meet face to face.
Okay, so we've got our little dude here now, so we can talk to him.
This installation is equipped for habitation of all races, and this room seems to be some sort of research area. I expect I could spend years poring over the data contained in these systems.
Is there anything else?
I have already made some progress. There appears to be several things we can research at this facility. Please take a look.
Okay, so it doesn't actually tell you what you're supposed to do, but you're supposed to access the research menu. And that's this little bar here. You can do that through the usuals, you know, the map
As you can
button.
see, there is much to do. I personally find mention of this teleportation irresistible, but I leave it up to you to decide what we research first. Please note that these research items have certain requirements.
Okay, so you do get a few little options here that you can do. The hack modules I don't tend to bother with. They allow you to hack systems a little bit easier and stuff like that, and that's a little bit of a different side of the game, which I don't tend to bother doing with, but you can do it if that's something you're interested in. Chassis mods and engine mods and stuff like that are useful, but right now we don't want these. What we want is the teleportation.
It appears some Terran technology was being used to research teleportation over long distances.
Okay, so it'll tell you what it needs, which is 100 advanced electronics and 2,000 energy
If you
cells.
could, please gather the required materials.
So all we need to do is we need to deliver them to the station, which obviously we can do with, you know, the usuals. We can get people to trade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a little trade here. Now, obviously we've got a ship which has already got, if we find him, was here. He may have moved over. I'm going to hunt down the ship that I've got that has the energy cells, and I'm going to get to pick up the extra components on the way past, and then we can unlock teleportation. But right now I'm going to leave it there for this episode because we've got what we want, and that is what we are after: the research side of things and the teleportation. Mainly the teleportation, because what that's going to allow us to do is, as you can see, it says you can have teleportation range increases. So if you read what it says here, it says increase the range of personal teleporter from within one system to within 3 systems. Then you go from 3 to within 5, and then you can jump to ships across the entire jump gate network. It's expensive, as you can see there. It takes a lot of stuff at that level. However, right now this one's really good. To be fair, we'll probably want to get range 1 sooner rather than later. What you can effectively do is you can actually jump, you can hop between ships to get to whatever system you want. And that's the usefulness of this, because obviously what I can do now is I can be in my station now, and I can go, well actually I need to get over to the 18 billion. I can jump over to that because it's a sector. I can hop over between ships as well to get to other sectors. When we are at the level we want to be, we'll have ships in almost every sector anyway, and we'll certainly have fleets that are like patrolling sectors and stuff like that, so we can actually use these to our advantage and get about. So that's why I wanted to show you to do this at some stage, because it does have some little perks that you can use, and the mods are pretty decent as well. But that's going to be it for this episode. Next episode we're going to look at potentially splitting down into the sections, but we're certainly going to start looking at obviously various other bits and bobs that we want to do, such as getting a fleet together to actually do some attacks on the enemies, whichever ones we choose, and obviously the impact of having the reputation for the reputation for obviously different factions and stuff like that. So we will probably look at splitting it from there. If you'd like to see something, or if there's something I've missed, or anything that you want to cover in a bit more in the guide, then please let me know in the comment section and we'll move on to that, or we'll rehash on to some of the other things as well. But hopefully you've kind of got the gist of things now. You can see what to expect, and hopefully this guide will allow you to continue enjoying your gameplay through. I am going to look at getting one part of this on where we're earning a lot of money, so you can see that, and I may even jump to my save as well to show you kind of what you can expect in a long-term played game. But until next time, everybody, take care for now. See you on the next one. Bye bye for now.